This is video number 4 on the prerequisites for good parenting, and with this video we conclude the videos on the prerequisites of good parenting. This video today will be about triggers and your nervous system. Now, something that a lot of people actually didn't know, and I myself, when I started with trauma work, actually didn't realize it, is that we are not governed really by our brain. Our reactions and behaviors is actually governed by our nervous system. And why is that? It's actually quite easy. The first way a baby is made to feel safe is when they've been put on the mother's chest and they feel that comfort. Remember, the baby's been in the mother's womb for 9 months. So the felt sense of safety is actually what governs our behavior. And as you as a baby grows into a small boy, a teenage boy, a child, older version, your behavior and the way that you relate towards the world is actually governed by how safe you first of all feel in your own body. And that stems from what has been the experiences within your nervous system and your body from the minute that you can recall. And that actually even started when you was already in your mother's womb. If she was very nervous or agitated or have gone through abuse while she was pregnant with you, you will be born more higher alert than other babies would be. Your nervous system would be more on high alert and de-escalated and dysregulated. So, as I spoke in the first video about self-awareness, one of the things you can go and think about is, what has been my first sense of safety? Because not a lot of us think about the importance of our body in our awareness daily and what the messages that our body and our nervous system is actually giving us. And it's vitally important. So, when I talk to you about your nervous system, I want you to look at this ladder. Because each of us has got an autonomic ladder in our nervous system. And in our daily go about, in our daily interactions and wherever you are, we move up and down this ladder in our nervous system all the time. And as you look at this ladder, I want you to take a moment and almost track yourself. Where am I in this ladder? So if you are a person that can be quite relaxed and regulated, you've got a handle on your emotions, you can deal with conflict well, you don't get upset because maybe that's the kind of home that you grew up in or by the people that you were raised by, you will be here in the top part which says, I'm in a regulated state and I'm connected. If you move downwards in the ladder, you move towards the fight and flight, or where I'm very numb and I'm just completely dissociated. Now, the ideal is that we are in the top part of the ladder most of the day. And a lot of us don't realize that I need to go and tune in, even with my eyes closed, into my nervous system and my body and say, what is actually happening for me at the moment? And this is not a cognitive process. This has got nothing to do with your rational brain. This is that sensations that you feel, that discomfort that you feel. I have this uncomfortable feeling in my stomach. I have a headache. What has happened prior to that? Who did you have an interaction with prior to that? And what is the memory that comes up in your nervous system because of that? Because when you can calm your nervous system, that's also going to make you, in effect, a calmer parent. And that brings me to the second part of this video, which is about triggers. Now, a trigger is any word, person, event, or an experience that sets off an emotional reaction. And if I talk about an emotional reaction, that's not something that happens in the cognitive part of your brain, which is the top part of your brain, which we need for executive planning, strategic planning, to execute decisions. It's something that happens in the deeper part of your brain, where your emotional brain is, but also something that happens more on a bodily level, in your nervous system level. Because think about it, when you get triggered, you react before you realize what happens. So by the time when you can actually work out what's happened to you, when it gets to your cognitive part of your brain, your body has already had a response. And if your child triggers you, it's actually got nothing to do with the child. Because I cannot trigger a reaction in you that doesn't already exist in you. Which means that if your child evokes that reaction from you, there's already a memory in your nervous system which your child has just woken up. And then it means that I need to go and look at what that is. What is my child's behavior reminded me of? And often I hear parents say, the child made me do it. The child awoke this reaction in me. No, that reaction was in you already. And your child's behavior just reminded you of someone else, so it triggered another emotional reaction. The more healed we become, the more self-aware we become, the less triggered we become. And the best way to do this is to actually ask people to show you. Ask your wife, ask your partner to help you see when you get triggered. Those minutes, that times that you just fly off the handle. And that is actually your unhealed inner child that does that. It's not the adult in you. So it's then to use those opportunities and go and look at what my child is doing now. Is that reminding me of something in my childhood that was an adverse event for me when I was a child, for the way that my parents reacted or responded? And then you go and look at, okay, so how do I need to heal this so that I don't react, but I respond, and I use this as an opportunity to become a calm parent. Because the last point I want to say to you, a escalated parent or dysregulated parent can't calm down a child who's upset. It takes a calm parent to calm a child who's upset. Thank you.